Welcome reading two. So you chose the blue heron, number 46. And can I tell you that I have been or 45, excuse me, thank you, Spirit, which is also the number 9. I have been supremely blessed with blue heron medicine over the last year. When my husband and I were home free in the area where we live, there was this really beautiful, magical campground that we went to. And one side of it was like the eagles, and the other side was the blue herons. And it was just magical, and watching them respect each other, but then like chase the seagulls and the crows and the ravens out. It was just so interesting. But there's something about a blue heron. I feel like every animal, every bug, everything has a majestic quality to it if you watch it in nature, if you watch it interacting with nature, with Gaia itself. It's a very profound moment. And I remember I have pictures and video of it. I'll have to put it together and post it somewhere. But anyway, I just remember that after we had been there for a few days and I was really freaking out because the way our situation went down, and we didn't get kicked out per se, but we had to leave where we were because like the owner was refinancing and all this stuff. And so we had to move, and we'd been there almost 5 years, and we felt really displaced and really scared and really freaked out. And I'm telling you, the blue heron was so majestic. It's like there was times that they got so close to me. I was waiting for them to just lift their big ass wing and put it over my shoulder, like, we got your back, Lula. Like, you're okay. It's okay. And I just started to study the blue heron medicine even more when I was there. They are seriously so majestic. So I'm excited to dive in and talk to them with you. So if you are new here, welcome. And for those of you who keep coming back, welcome back. As you know, these are the medicine cards, and there is a book that comes with them. They're the animal medicine cards, and in the book, each animal has a word or a phrase that was chosen by the Native American elders who put together this medicine. There is a key word for each of them. And then they also wrote like a cute little poem, which I always like to show because I just think it's just so sweet. Look at that. Isn't that so sweet? Okay, so let's read the poem first. Blue heron, thank you, sacred water bird, for sending reflections to me, the mirrors of the quest for life, the worlds that live inside of me. Show me how relationships work, with my path woven within the whole, the lessons of kinship with all life, reflecting my spirit's eternal goal. Yes. So because we're in the setting intention phase, the second moon phase of this Piscean moon, I think it's really powerful that you guys got this. I just got the chills, right? Because it's about setting intention and putting your purpose out there. And just so you know, the key word for the blue heron is self-reflection. So I said in the beginning of this when we were choosing the readings that for some of you, this wasn't about so much of actually doing an act or starting an intention, a manifestation or whatever in this moon cycle. I said that because it was the last moon cycle of the astrological year, that for some of us it was just going to be like kind of planting seeds, but in a different way, right? Like maybe shifting or changing our thought process, the way we talk, the way we act, the way we look, the way we think, the way we feel, just like really looking at ourselves. So it doesn't surprise me that you guys received the self-reflection, the blue heron. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I love, 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 love this animal because there's something about them that's just, I don't know how to explain it. When you're sitting in their presence, especially when there's a bunch of them. So where we were was on the water, and the one side, like there were days where you couldn't even count how many were there. So they let you get pretty close, They're not afraid. They're not afraid. So just being in their medicine is like so profound because they like to kind of hang out on the ground, right? Near the water, logs, rocks, things like that, where eagles are perched up high in the tree. So it was cool. There was this one spot where it was like I had the herons on my right and the eagles on my left. And I was like, I just started crying, and I realized that they wanted me to remember who I was, and that they had my back, that spirit had my back, and not to be afraid. And I needed that self reflection. I needed that, and I needed to feel protected. So for some of you, call in the ego medicine too. You know, I asked if we were going to pull any more spirit animal cards for each reading, and they said no. There was just one particular animal, but for you guys, I'm definitely feeling ego. Old medicine. You guys are old medicine. I'm definitely feeling that. So let's hear what they have to say in the book. It says, Heron medicine is the power of knowing the self by discovering its gifts and facing its challenges. It is the ability to accept all feelings and opinions without denying any emotion or thought. Heron flies over those who are unaware of who they are and where they belong in the world. Gently dropping a blue feather to them, Heron asks that they follow their intuition and begin the empowering journey of self-realization. If the great blue heron has flown into your cards today, it is urging you to dive into the watery world of feelings to seek your truth. Okay, I'm stopping, putting a pin there, because the watery world, like going into the water, I mean, that's all what Pisces are about, right? That like you can see it in the water, but it's like it almost looks dreamy, like it's not real, right? That imagery of Pisces, like your intuition, you know. And for some of you, water scrying might be really powerful for you. If you have a water source near you, a lake, river, you know, whatever, ocean, you may want to do some water scrying. If not, you can even do water scrying in your own home. You know, you could take water and just like I've done this before, where you just like kind of shake the water up and then like kind of see what's happening inside the water. You'll see like little air bubbles, and it's very profound. So I'm feeling like you guys, either you are water signs, and happy birthday if you are Pisces, or you are dealing with a water sign, or maybe it's like this part of you. Maybe you're a, you know, a Sag, but your moon's in Pisces. You know what I mean? Right? So I'm just getting that your emotions are tied to like whatever your moon sign is, feels like it's either a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. That's what I'm feeling, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is. But I just think that's so interesting that today that we're setting intentions in the Piscean energy, and they're basically like speaking it right back to you. So, if the great blue heron has flown into your cards today, it is urging you to dive into the watery world of feelings to seek your truth. Heron teaches you to develop your self-reflective skills so that you may come to know yourself in an intimate way. Looking at yourself through the filmy lens of self-importance, the cloudy perceptions of low self-worth, or the myopic eyes of self-pity, you will never understand your true potential or appreciate the opportunities that appear or are coming to you. Yeah, I mean, for some of you, I feel like, yeah, you're a powerful light worker, and it's not easy right now. If you found yourself here, you're a soul warrior, man. Like you are here to help the collective in some way or another. This is not an accident. If you're new here, if you're new to your gifts, if you're just waking up, you're not crazy. You're extremely gifted. You are so connected to spirit. You are so connected to self. But you're clouded by what other people think of you. You're clouded by the outside world because it seems too good to be true. I mean, growing up as a kid, I mean, I thought everybody around me was crazy, but then over the years, everybody made me believe I was crazy. I wanted to put me in institutions, wanted to put me on medication. Why can't I be like everybody else, think like everybody else? And I was like, I don't know. Why are you so sensitive? You're so weird. Like, you know, all of these things. And so over the years, I just started to believe it. And I lost track of who I was. I lost track of my own intuition and vibes about myself that I know are true. I let other people, you know, dissuade me and tell me that what I was thinking was crazy. I mean, I remember like reading The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and things like that when I was a girl and a young girl, and thinking like that world felt real to me. Magic felt real to me. All that felt real to me because I'm an earth angel. But my family, you know, it's like I chose them. And it's hard to believe that we chose these avatars. We chose, you know, like the other day I said to Spirit, I'm like, why would I choose to be a triple Sag and my moon's in Scorpio? Like because lately I feel like I can't like flame my own fire. Like I can't, or fan, you know what I mean? Like I can't, it's just too much. I'm too much for myself, if that makes any sense. And I've just been feeling completely off. And so I realized it's because I haven't had a lot of time to myself. And I need that time. So maybe that's what's happening with you guys too. You know, the blue heron, they do hang out together, but they're not like buddy, like, you know, sitting in like a tree together with a bunch of murder of crows, you know, just like 30 crows hanging out in a tree. And they're like, hey, what's up? You know, the blue heron, it's like the one that I was telling you about, that I got the picture of. I got so close. They almost look like a little person. They don't even look real because their bodies are so big. And then when they're sitting, you can't see how like their skinny long legs. And so you just see their big body and then their big bill and their big head. And by the way, they dropped a feather in front of my husband. So that was really cool. So we have a blue, we have two now. We found one, and then one was like literally like dropped, like the blue heron was like flying over and it like dropped in front of him. It was really profound. We had a lot of cool shit happen around that time. But you know, that was spirit telling us that we weren't alone and that we were okay. And I get the vibe that you guys get these signs too. And don't and I'm hearing from spirit, please don't dismiss them. When they're sending you signs and gifts through numerology or animals, or I don't care if somebody's wearing a sweater that was like your favorite sweater when you were a kid and it brings you to a memory, like thank it. Be gratitude. Be in gratitude. Be grateful for it. Because everything is tied into everything. You know what I mean? Also, when I looked down, it was 1021 and 1022. So I don't know if that means anything to you. It could also be angel numbers. It could be if you put the numbers all together. It could mean whatever it means to you. Okay. So let's see what this says next. It says, Heron asks that you examine yourself with a cold eye to see what you wish to improve and how you want to change. If you get stuck in the process, it may be a sign that you're being too hard or critical. Choosing to blame others and constantly pointing a finger at life situations instead of claiming responsibility for your own actions shows that you lack the courage to face the enemy within yourself. Heron medicine people are willing to look at themselves and see the truth of their motives, actions, feelings, dreams, goals, inner strengths, and their inner weaknesses. In balancing these truths, Heron's medicine shows you how to meet the challenges of your personal weaknesses and how to continue developing the skills that lead to inner strength and certainty of purpose. Are you willing to dive into those watery depths of your own feelings and discover the role of your spiritual essence? Oh, I just got the chills. Heron is now calling you to delve deeper, to know yourself, and to trust your path. Like the phoenix who rises from its own ashes, the heron emerges from the unseen worlds of spirit into a new balanced sense of self in order to embrace its potential again and again. The magnificence of your human spirit lies waiting for the joy of discovery. If you are courageous enough to follow the water bird throughout the journey, the heron will remind you that every traveler on life's journey is a messenger, and that every destination is the beginning of a new life cycle on the medicine wheel. Now, I don't always read the contrary, but I'm feeling, because our tribe is growing in numbers, I'm feeling like there's some good medicine here, so I'm going to press on. So the contrary to this card is, surprise! It may be time to come up for air if Heron arrives in the contrary. Too much self-reflection can lead to self-obsession or a morbid sense of humor. If you've been looking within and criticizing yourself, watch out. It's imprudent to drown the sense of joy that usually accompanies the journey of self-discovery. You may have assumed the attitude that perfection is desirable. That may be what advertisers sell you. That may be what advertisers sell you, but that attitude leaves no room to be human. Oops. You learn some of your most valuable lessons through your mistakes and your failures. That is what makes you so grand. Wouldn't life be boring if everyone was a plastic clone of an ideal human? Exactly. What did I just say? Like, it really unnerved my family that I was so different from them. Like, it literally unnerved them. I can feel it. I can sense it. I can tell. And I would hear like, just stop. Like they were so worried for me because I was born in 1971 and they were just like, you know, people are going to think you're fucking crazy. They're going to think you're weird, you know. But no responsibility for what happened to me either. That I was raised in a very religious household. We went to church, you know, more than once a week, sometimes 3 times a week if there were certain things happening. We sat around in circles in my house and read the Bible. We, you know, all this. Now, mind you, during this, my father's drinking. He's beating my mother. He's pulling guns on her. You know, he's trying to, you know, use knives to get into the bathroom when she locked him out. And just crazy ass shit was happening. So what a confusing world that was. Then, cut to I'm 12 years old. My mother finally leaves my father, which we were grateful for. But at the same time, we just stopped going to church. And then years later, when I was in high school and I would like fuck up or things would happen, my mom would say, it's because you were never baptized. Like, it was like there was always some excuse or some problem. It had, oh really? So it had nothing to do with the fact that you and dad got married at 17 and 18, got divorced at 35 and 36, and then, you know, went rampant, you know, boozing, fucking people, whatever, as they should, man. I get it. Like I can only imagine. especially during the time period, right? Like in the 60s, and their parents forced them to get married because my mom got pregnant. They had sex one time and their parents made them get married. It's like, that's a very serious, thing. And so, but then to tell me that I'm the fuck up and I'm the asshole and, oh, I wasn't baptized. And so many times I wanted to be baptized, but things just didn't work out that way. And my mom's like, oh, because in our Christian, like Southern Baptist, whatever, like you don't get baptized until you come to Christ, kind of thing. I was just talking about this recently too. This is so interesting. So this may be applying to you guys as well. Like there must be some religious tie-in for you as well. But basically, long story short, is now at 51, I can look back on it and just see it all though for what it was and forgive it and love it, but also see the fakery and the fuckery and just like all the like misgivings and it's just, you know what I mean? So remember that our parents, they are not perfect. And, I always love that thing, do as I say, but not as I do. That to me was just always such a messy, weird concept because I'm like, how does that make any sense at all? Like, aren't you supposed to be the example for me, So that's very interesting. So the last part says, contrary herein also reminds you that self-improvement is best accomplished by balancing the desire to change with gentle discernment. There are many layers of truth to understand, and wholeness is impossible to attain in one dive. You do belly flops when you become judgmental, rigid, and flat. Diving deeply into your feelings, you may emerge renewed, but being too critical, merely floating on top of the water, you will callously break your spirit in the process. Heron reminds you to dive deeply, but do not hold your breath while waiting for instant or total enlightenment. Also, I heard instant gratification. If you're somebody who lives in this instant gratification, that's not how it works, right? Like, look at the blue heron. Like, when it's ready to eat, it flies above until it can find the right fish, the right moment, you know what I mean? And then when it's right, they dive in. But they're looking through those murky waters. They're flying up above the water, right? That they're seeing it, but they have to look through the water. They have to like really focus and keenly, keep their eyes very exact on their mission. And I feel like that's what Spirit's trying to say to you. So that's very, very, very interesting. Okay, so if you do not resurface for error, the collective feelings of humanity and the infinite depth of eternity can drown you. Okay, so a few of these tags came through today, these T tags that I have, and whichever one, I'm just going to pull them down, whichever one comes up is some messages for you. Okay, so, the patrons of peace. So I feel like for some of you guys, like you try to keep the peace in your house, at work, friends, with your significant other, and Spirit's saying, but how's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? Okay, look at this one just flipped over when I went to move them around. Okay, so we have Yogi, Good Earth on this side. And then it also says California, 1972. So I feel like this could be a year some of you were born. Maybe you were born in California. Could be a parent, somebody in your life. So that's just really interesting. I've never noticed that before. And then before we get to your mantra card, this was in reading 1. So if you were drawn to reading 1 and you were debating, you may want to go there for some medicine because this was in there. Your breath fills you with energy anywhere and anytime you need it. Interesting. Okay. And then we're going to pull one Living by the Moon mantra card. And this is your mantra for the Piscean moon energy. Okay. This is going to be your mantra. Now you can keep this mantra forever, but at least through this moon cycle, while you're, working through this energy, this is your intention, is working through this energy. Here is the mantra that Spirit wants you to work with. Okay. Take in some deep breaths. Close your eyes. Connect with me. I feel like some of you are really pushing back your gifts and you're tired, right? You're like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so sick of it. Oh, I get it, man. I'm there with you. But Spirit's saying, yeah, but number 1, you asked for this. And so don't play the victim. And number 2, instead of living in the woe is me and the darkness and whatever and the dread, Spirit's saying, what if you changed your mind and your mood instead? Oh, I love how they rhymed that. Okay. Okay, so this is your imagery. And I'm hearing that song, you got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole world. Oh my gosh, that was biblical too. Oh my gosh, like Vacation Bible School where are you at? Where are my Sunday school and Vacation Bible School, VBC people? Wait, VBS? You know what I'm talking about? Please comment below if you are brave enough to come forward. We want you to. Like, you are part of this tribe. If you have found your way here to this message, like, this is for you. 1933, when I look down, which is an angel number, or it could be a year that you were born, or a past life, or it could be somebody that you're dealing with the year they were born. 90 years old, it can happen. Okay, so your mantra, should you choose to accept it, is I attract success by being my authentic self. So for some of you, I feel like you want to change jobs or change careers. You hate your job. You're not happy with your situation. You can't move out of, like, you're miserable at home. You're miserable in your relationship. You're miserable with your family, your friends. Like, I've been there. I had to literally completely exercise. And I mean, like, exercise like demons. Like, I had to exercise people from my life. And it's because I have moved almost 30 times, lived in 5 different states. I was, this awesome fun gypsy, just living life, right? But every place I moved and everywhere I went, I always made new friends and met new people. And so I had no idea how much cleaning up I had to do. And so when I started going through my phone, I think I had like 175 contacts or something. And a lot of them were clients too, as well. But long story short, I started going through with my pendulum, and then I kept getting sidetracked, or I was just putting it off. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what Spirit did? They literally cleared my phone. My phone went into one of those weird things. It like freaked out, and it literally deleted all of my contacts from my phone, even in the cloud, right? Or so I thought. So I go to T-Mobile. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I wanted to get some people out, but I'm like, blah, blah, blah. The guy shows me, he's like, here, they're not gone for good. And he showed me where they were, got all of my contacts, put them back in my phone. And I don't know, a few months later, the same thing happened again, except for this time, there was like 6 people. And it was mostly the people that I talked to all the time that were like my really close, like the people that I really trust, the people that know who I am, what I am, love me, accept me, and support me for what I am and who I am. It was wild. And I didn't even attempt to get the rest of them because I was like, I hear you loud and clear. Because they were like, it's over. Like, it's done. Start a new chapter. These people are done. You are done. You are done. You are done. You are done. And even now, I have times where I get lonely, but you know what? I still have those people, and I still have my husband and my familiar, and I make new friends all the time. But your vibe attracts your tribe. And so if you're being your authentic self, then you're going to attract the people who love you for being weird, quote unquote, or a freak or different or special. You are special. You are unique. You're not like other people. And that's for a reason. Also, 45 is the number 9. And 9 means that you're just really, really close. You're so close. But in order for you to attract that success, you have to fake it till you make it. And I've been doing that myself lately, where I have days where I'm like, I'm not fucking happy. I'm not going to pretend I'm happy. I'm not happy right now. Spirit's like, you don't have to be 22, 26. But at the same time, they're like, you know, live in that, little victim moment, live in that whatever, and then get out of it and move on. My husband and I, we've been going through so much. It's been intense, intense, intense. And I feel like I go, I'm not apologizing. Like, I feel, because then I feel like a jerk, later we have these conversations, and I can't keep my energy. Like, I get so mad because it's the same stuff, and it's been going on for almost 8 years, and it makes me just want to cry and like pull up roots and leave, because I'm just like, I don't know if I can handle this for the rest of my life with this person, and I'm like, I'm just being real with you, brother. Like, I love you, love you, love you, but like, these are like things that can be changed, but if you don't want to change them, they will never change. And it's these kind of patterns and repeat behavior where I'm like, your mom doesn't live here, like, fucking clean up after yourself. And like, we do not have to clean up after another person. We do not have to tell another person or remind another person to do something. Like, we each are individually and completely responsible for our own well-being. And if you are in a situation where you are constantly having to help another person because they're not taking care of themselves, that's a big red flag. And it's the biggest red flag that they're not taking care of themselves or taking care of something. This could be boss, family, lover, friend, could be anything. So, there are children and animals that, like, right, they can't, an animal, my cat, I haven't been able to teach her yet, right, to come in and take her food and feed herself, whatever. Like, I have to feed her, right? Like, I have to give her fresh water every day. I have to clean her litter box. I have to do all of these things for her because she can't do those things herself. That's different. But when you have people who can absolutely positively do things for themselves, but you're constantly doing things, or they're gaslighting you, love bombing you, I'm feeling a lot of narcissist empath relationship here. because it's mirroring my own. And I told him, I was like, these are some things that like I think would really help us. And so he's been researching more on like narcissistic behavior and things like that, because we are not born narcissists, but if you are trained by your family and your friends and your situation from the time you're born to deal with narcissists, or if you know what I mean? Narcissism is running rampant right now, and some people are just shitty people. They're not narcissists. It's like a narcissism is a real thing, but you're not born a narcissist. So whoever this person is, they weren't born this way. They weren't trying to, I feel like the spirit wants me to bring the light in on you. You know, they're not trying to ruin your life or make things bad or whatever, you know. And this may just be for one person, but I'm just hearing, you know, you either accept them for who they are or you don't. And it's okay sometimes to walk away, because sometimes when we actually walk away from something, the other person is like, oh shit, like I don't want to be without you, or I don't, you know, you're right, this is something I really do need to work on. You know, and being each other's therapists and relationships can be tough, whether it's, you know, mother-daughter or lovers or your boss. It's like, no, there's a reason why we had a snowstorm and everything's starting to like melt and fall. That's what that was. But, you know, I feel like that's a sign from spirit too, right? Like, you know, just because someone is in your life, even if it is a family or friend or a spouse or somebody, even your children, you know, if they are being awful or they're taking advantage of you, or if they're not allowing you to be your authentic self, that's a big deal. That's a huge red flag. And that only you can change and rectify that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's it. Do we have any more messages? They did want me to bring these back forward though. So yeah, and I feel like for some of you who are the patrons of peace, like that's cool that you're like that, but it's not your job. You know, your breath. Let's see that. So you got three mantras right there. Oops. Ooh. Oh, I feel like some of you are in the darkness. They don't even want it to go up. So I feel like, or there's some of you like there's no peace in your house. Because maybe there's somebody in your house who's like my dad was, right? Like, whereas like, you know, if my dad was in a good mood, everything was good. But if my dad was drunk and in a bad mood, it's like, move out of the way, make sure there's no fucking bullets in the gun. I'm not kidding. And what kind of world is that? I hope none of you are living like that, but you know, but your breath is yours, and you get to choose how to breathe in and out. And you don't have to hold your breath all the time just because somebody doesn't know how to behave. This is your life. All right, you guys, that's it. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. All of my information's in the About section, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Love you.